We didn't stop the first time. We were on our way to Montgomery, chasing another story, when we saw it out of the corner of our eye. A wooden beam stretched across the road. Log cabins behind tall grass. Quiet. We didn't turn in, but we said, almost at the same time, next trip. A month later, before sunrise, we came back. Not to break in, not to disturb anything, just to see what was still standing. Now, before we go any further, this is not the Pioneer Museum of Alabama. The museum is still open and preserving state history. This was the other place, a roadside village of historic log cabins built in the early 1980s. And this morning, it felt suspended. Some places don't disappear all at once. They soften. They quiet. They wait. The Pioneer Village began with one man's idea. James Ralph Johnson, educator, military officer, farmer, wanted to build something that felt older than it was. In the early 1980s, he began assembling authentic log cabins just north of Troy along Highway 231. Not a strip mall, not a franchise, a village. Families wandered through antique shops, handmade crafts lined shelves. A restaurant served meals. A blacksmith worked iron. A vintage fire truck stood parked like it might roll out at any moment. In July 1985, the first Watermelon Festival brought the community together here, and for decades, the place thrived. It became part of the roadside landscape, part of Pike County memory, part of growing up. But roadside America shifted. Travel patterns changed. Big box stores replaced slow wandering. Small destinations grew quieter. By 2016, Johnson's son Timothy attempted to revive it. A restaurant reopened, plans formed for shops and new life inside the old cabins. But momentum is hard to manufacture. By 2017, the village closed again. When James Ralph Johnson passed away in December 2019 at 95 years old, it felt like a chapter had gently ended. The cabins remained, not erased, just waiting. For a while, everything inside looked almost preserved. Shelves, signs, artifacts left in place, like someone might return with a key. We pulled in just before sunrise. The sky was flat gray. The grass was taller than expected. There were more buildings than I remembered. We drove toward the back to get a sense of how many cabins were still standing, and then a loud pop under the truck. For half a second, I was sure we'd blown a tire. Just a crushed cooler. Still, it was enough to remind us that this place had seen other visitors. We turned around and parked near the front. We didn't go inside the burned structures. Some were unstable. Some looked recently disturbed. And this didn't feel like a place to push boundaries. We moved slowly, kept our voices low, documented what remained. Charred wood, collapsing roofs, porches leaning under vines, but also intact shelves, doorways still framing morning light, cabins holding their shape against the sky. It didn't feel haunted. It felt interrupted. On April 7th, 2023, fire tore through the property. 9 cabins were destroyed. Old dry wood doesn't argue with flame. The official cause has never been publicly released. What years of quiet decline hadn't taken, the fire changed in a single night. The village didn't vanish, it altered. And standing there in the gray morning light, you could feel the difference. Not devastation, not drama, just absence where activity used to be. The pioneer village was never a 19th century ghost town. It was a late 20th century dream built from older pieces. A man gathered cabins, a community gathered memories, time gathered dust. We drove past it once and promised to come back, so we did. Not every place needs restoration to matter. Sometimes it just needs someone to show up before sunrise and remember it quietly. Did you ever visit Pioneer Village when it was open? Attend the Watermelon Festival? Stop for antiques maybe on a family road trip? If you have memories of this place, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And if you believe in the quiet, altered places still deserve to be seen, consider subscribing and traveling these roads with us. We'll keep coming back. Until we do, get out there and explore the world your way.